Good morning, warriors. Welcome to the U Movement. I am B. Today, I wanted to hop on and talk about the misinterpretation of mission. Because just like I mentioned, I think it was in yesterday's video, that there's a paradox in regards to being a warrior. A warrior doesn't feel like a warrior. A warrior feels frightened and vulnerable. That's what makes them a warrior. That's what makes a hero, is showing up and doing something heroic in the face of fear. And mission is definitely something I had a complete misinterpretation about most of my life. I had the idea that, I'd have a moment of insight and it would feel all tingly and I would be like, yes, this is what I was designed to do. This is the purpose of my life. This is wonderful. I'm so excited. Now I'm doing something that I've always wanted to do with such great vibes. Nope, that is not mission. When you are called into mission, your egoic self doesn't want to do it at all. There is a lot of resistance. It reminds me of the quote by Mother Teresa, who said, I know that God loves me. I just wish he didn't trust me so much, or something along those lines. That's kind of it. And that's I just wish he didn't trust me so much is kind of the crux of what I am talking about in regards to the misinterpretation of mission. Because from my own personal experience, never in a million years would I have thought that this is what I would be doing, ever. I thought as a young person, my dream was to be an actress. So that involved a camera, but it certainly did not, in my mind's eye, involve me sharing my most intimate truths. I kept all that stuff on lockdown. That's the exact polar opposite of what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a role. I wanted to show up in front of camera and be challenged to create wonderful roles. I'm doing the exact opposite of that. There are no more roles. There are no more masks. There are no more anything to hide behind. This has been a peeling away of all of my, and I just did a video yesterday or 2 days ago of all my crazy looks and archetypes that I used to hide behind in my own life. And now you just have me. And that's terrifying. The process of becoming me in front of a camera has been absolutely terrifying, because I was so desperate to want to be liked, to want to be accepted, to want to be loved, that I tried on everything possible. Are people going to love me if I have makeup on my face? If people are going to love me if I have this outfit on? Are people going to accept me if I wear my hair this way or that way? And all these externalizations of trying to be something likable. And now I'm trying to be me. And ego doesn't like that. Ego has fought that tooth and nail, literally tooth and nail, to try to hold on to a semblance of protection. And the more on this journey, and you look back to my earlier videos, and that was in and around my bliss phase of my awakening, when I was just starting to kind of step into this first portion of my mission. And by God, I know that this is the first portion. I've still got a long way to go, and all the way along, it's been about showing more and more and more vulnerability, more and more my truth. And I also spent my entire life hiding all of my vulnerabilities and repressing them through all of the addictions that I denied that I had, which was my second, when acting as a young person, because I spent my first childhood and teenage years in a specialized art school where I learned a lot of theater skills. So those skills are part of my mission, but not in the way that I thought they were going to be. Then I went to college and studied to become an addictions counselor, thinking that that's what I would be. Not ever thinking that those skills would be something that I would be using to clear my own addictions, because I was in complete denial that I even had addictions. I'm fine, I just drink on the weekends. Lots of people smoke. My cannabis usage, that's medicinal. My microdosing, again, medicinal. Hell, donuts I called medicinal. The overeating was medicinal. And that was my running joke, because, I had a rough day and I deserve this pizza and I deserve this wine and I deserve all of these things, because I'm going to drink and shove and swallow down all of my own emotions. But when Spirit started speaking to me and saying, you need to quit these things, I had to rely on my own skills that I had learned to help me transmute them and let go of them, because quitting substances is exceptionally difficult. Doing it in front of camera is even more so. But that is in part my mission, so that I can help other people transmute their addictions, whatever those addictions show up. Because addictions don't just necessarily mean alcohol and drugs. Anything can be an addiction if it's used as a buffer or used as a means to prevent any emotions, any authenticity from coming around. So that can be controlling behavior, that can be dating, that can be gambling, that can be substances for sure. That can be attitudes and beliefs, addicted to certain thought patterns. That can be, it can show up in your life and manifest in any way, shape, or form. All as tools that the ego uses in attempts to keep all of the trauma under wraps. So on the top, I do have an addictions playlist. On the topic of trauma, my egoic self would never have chosen to be a trauma expert of any sorts. How did I gain my expertise on trauma? By experiencing a hell of a lot of trauma. I went to the school of life when it comes to trauma education, and I went to the school of life when it comes to narcissistic education. My egoic self would have much preferred to have a happy childhood and not been raised by a narcissistic parent, not been married to a narcissistic husband, not experienced a plethora of lies, manipulation, gaslighting, all of the things that I needed to identify to become expert enough, knowledgeable enough to be able to discern what was at play in my own world, so that I could escape from it, and then have the knowledge to be able to impart to others. Hey, wait a second. This is the vocabulary of things that you need to understand so that you can navigate out of these situations. And so I have a narcissistic playlist. I have a trauma playlist. Within the narcissistic playlist, there are two videos. One is about narcissistic communication, and one is about narcissistic tools and techniques. And those two videos are exceptionally useful in providing you the vocabulary that you need. And learning the vocabulary was so important, because If you can't identify what's happening to you, you just get an ick feeling, but you don't have a word for what that ick feeling is. Is it devaluing? Is it minimizing? Is it flying monkeys? These types of terms is not something that you're taught in a regular school system, so you may not even understand what they are. So in escaping from toxic situations, learning the appropriate vocabulary was one of the main tools and strategies that I needed to learn on my mission to become somebody who can teach others to learn and identify toxic behavior so that they too can escape. So I had no, this is what I want to do. I didn't want to experience abuse, but in experiencing abuse and horrific situations, I became educated. I became aware. I became given the skills that I needed to be able to one day sit in front of a camera and make these videos and or do one-on-one counseling with others because of all of my life's experiences. My ego wanted at one stage, thought, I'm going to be a Reiki practitioner. And that was a great job for a while until my own spiritual awakening became activated and my life went into a dark night of the soul because my ego thought I was woke years ago. And now I laugh at the term woke because sure, I would have considered myself woke. I was not woke. I am awakening now, but what I was 10 years ago was very much in spiritual ego. So ego kind of climbs a staircase of different levels, and each time you think you've ascended out of ego, there will be more ego to ascend out of. And at first, when I got trained as a Reiki master and a Reiki teacher, I thought that my mission was to be a Reiki master and a Reiki practitioner. And that all crumbled around me. That was my comfort zone. I enjoyed doing that, building my own business and working small, locally, what was comfortable. And it was like I was like stopped at every angle. It was like, no, this is not what you're meant to be doing. And when my own 3D world began collapsing and certain things were triggered even before I was consciously aware of my awakening, because as I say, I think my awakening probably began way back in 2016 when my life began falling apart. My father died. I had a horrific job situation because in having burnout, I went into a stage of absolute burnout and I shut down my business in the awareness and in the understanding that I couldn't heal others until I healed myself. My health was going offline. Everything was just falling apart around me. So I need to refocus. And so ego grabbed hold of the steering wheel and said, okay, enough of this spiritual stuff. You need to just sell out and get a regular job and worry about all your benefits packages and focus on finances, because you need to figure out a way to escape from this marriage that there was all this like financial abuse in and I was stuck in. So ego started driving my bus for a while and brought me into like a really bad job situation, a couple really bad job situations actually. And spirit was not having this. Ego was comfortably driving and veering us way off course, which also was, I'm sure, part of the learning experience, because I wouldn't understand to the same extent how much we want to have control and have our future all plotted out, and have our 5-year plan and 10-year plan, and this is what it's going to look like, and I can see all the steps in front of me, and I'm following these. That's ego. And a spiritual awakening comes along and says, no, that's not what you're doing. That's not where you're going. And everything falls apart around you and collapses around you, so that you can go through your own collapsing of ego. And ego keeps trying to gain hold. Every time I, even along this path, when my awakening started and I was in the bliss phase, I was manifesting in all this great stuff. I was, this is fantastic. I'm doing stand-up comedy routines. Maybe I'm a stand-up comic. Maybe that's what my job is. And no, that was just practice and training for being in front of a camera and, doing my lighthearted oracle reads. Is that what I'm supposed to be? No, I know that's just practice for the next thing. Everything that you do is just practice for the next thing, and it's pushing you further and further and further out of your comfort zone. And every time you get pushed further and further out of your comfort zone, your ego tries to grab hold and say, this is it. This is it. And then spirit comes along and goes, stop. No, it's not it. It's the next step. It's all it is a step. And you're just taking one step, and ego wants to stop and set up house and set up at that next step, without realizing that next step, everything will be crumbled and taken away from you. It's an over and over until you learn to stop trying to hold on to, is this it? Is this it? Because each step, your ego is going to fight. Each step is going to be terrifying. Each step is going to be full of fear. Each video that I have done that has been more vulnerable than the last has been terrifying, especially when I was going through my extreme anxiety year. It was, you heard me. There's I was terrified. I was terrified doing those videos, but I did it anyways. I was terrified many times showing up on camera in my imperfection. And I did it anyways. I wasn't looking the way that I wanted to look. I had injuries. I had tooth problems, and spirit was like, just do it anyways. Just do it anyways. You need to let go of vanity. You need to let go of, being in control all the time. You need to let go of the idea of perfection. You need to let go of the I've got my life all together. You need to let go of I am the teacher and you are the student. It is a letting go one after another of egoic things that keep you feeling safe. And learning to feel safe in nothingness, with nothing to hold on to, no attachments, I know what my next week is going to look like. I have no idea what my next week is going to look like. I have no idea what tomorrow is going to look like. So everything is taken away from you in this mission, and because it's a process of learning to trust spirit. Would I have pictured myself being in God's mission? No, no. I in my own life became so isolated and secluded and so disillusioned with people. No, my comfort zone became a tight little circle of very toxic people, and opening myself, cracking myself open time and time and time again to learn all these lessons that I needed to learn in my own growth and development. So at the same time, I can be turning around and shining a light for others whilst in the dark. It is not It's not something I would have wanted to do. By no means. Even the place that I live has been controlled by spirit. I've wanted to leave this town that I've lived in since I got here, basically. And every single time I've made attempts to leave this town, it has not worked. There's been some sort of block, and now I'm legally blocked from doing anything. It's I'm legally in no man's land. And along these last 2.5 years of being caught in this legal battle with my home, in state of absolute anxiety and fear, there's been so many times that I'm like, called up my lawyer and been like, let's just, can we not just sell the property now? Can we not just like liquidate everything and I'll go live in a trailer with whatever's left and I'll run away to Mexico and I'll hide, just that. And every single time that I get panicked, it's like spirit has come along and said, you haven't learned the lesson yet. There's going to be another delay. There's going to be another delay. There's going to be another delay. And it's like, finally, I'm like, okay, I get it. You don't want me to leave. This is where I'm supposed to be. So ego is saying, let's run away. Let's go somewhere else. And spirit's saying, no, you don't get to. That's not where you're supposed to be. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. And many of the clients and others that I've talked to, they are saying similar things in regards to work or in regards to a city that you're meant to live in. One of either scenarios can happen is if you are meant to move and you are not living where you are supposed to be living, it's all going to disintegrate around you and spirit's going to move you to where you're supposed to be. And if you are not supposed to move because you are a grid worker, you are part of the light work that is the Earth's grid, and you are stationed exactly where you're supposed to be. So if you picture the Earth and there's an entire grid that works all the way around it, and as a light worker, we each have a location that we're supposed to be in. So it's like a lighthouse, and you are the light bulb in that lighthouse at that location. No matter how much you want to move, you won't be allowed to. I found these beautiful little trailers in a retirement community, and I was like, I could totally see myself there. I could live in a little small, tiny little log cabin in the woods somewhere. I can see myself that. Get myself a cat and a pet goat, and I'll be fine. And spirit's like, no, you are in suburbia, and that's where you're meant to be. I don't like suburbia. It's not where I want to, I could live in a van. I could live in a van down by the river and I'd be happy. But spirit's like, no, see, because you want to leave, you need to learn to accept and surrender, because, oh my God, surrender is everything on this mission. You need to surrender to the location that you've been placed in and stationed for mission. So you don't get to control mission. Mission is something you surrender into. Same with jobs. Is if you're in a job that you're not meant to be in, it will collapse. I lost 2 jobs through this awakening, and eventually I was like, okay, I need to build something myself, and spirit kept pushing me to build the U movement in different ways, and I don't know where that's going. I've said 100 times, I have had incredible visions of where it could potentially go, but that's in divine time, in divine way, in divine's in charge. I have to raise my hands and say, oh, okay, if I'm meant to have a trauma center at some stage, I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't know who. If I'm meant to have a team that I keep praying for and manifesting in, hoping that I'll have somebody that can help me with the technical stuff, hoping that I can have somebody who's business minded, that can come along and take over the reins and turn this into a nonprofit that can grow. If this is going to develop into like products that I want to bring to market, if this wants to develop into things, divine time. I don't get to control it. I have zero control over it. Otherwise, I would have had a business partners 2 years ago that were like in talks to bring it off, but they weren't the right people. It wasn't the right time, and Spirit took all that away. So Spirit will take away jobs. Spirit will take away life locations and move you to where you're supposed to be. Spirit will take away your stuff. Spirit will take away anything that you are overly attached to, and anything you're not attached enough to. Spirit will say, you're not done with this yet. And there's another paradox. Those that are overly attached to houses, stuff, money as stability might lose it all. They 100% might lose it all. Many people lose financially everything and have to start from scratch on an awakening. I've been a part of many Kundalini groups, and that's a common theme that many people have experienced. They lose their relationships. In losing their relationships, they lose all their financial stability that they built up, their kingdom that they built up, because they have to start from scratch. And the way that divorce laws are set up it meant that they lost a lot. I've known people that have lived out of cars and vans, and have had to stay at other people's places because they've lost their jobs and lost apartments and lost financial stability, lost their belongings. I know one person that after losing her apartment, she put all her stuff in storage, and then the storage facility burnt down. So, yes, attachments to things and the way we think our life's work is going to go, and our ideas and our beliefs and our addictions and our everything, we're going to be asked to let go of anything we hold on to too tightly. And anything we don't hold on to tightly enough and we reject and we push away, like my house, I'm like, just sell it, just get rid of it. I don't want it. Like, it's fine. I'm supposed to be here. There's a purpose for me to be here. Part of that purpose is, the 3 that live with me. Part of the purpose is if I start doing things locally, which, Spirit is pushing me to go back into community and start doing in-person work. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do in-person work. I've been happily just getting comfortable with the online work. And so the idea of starting to do in-person stuff again and starting group meetings or starting in-person, Reiki treatments or in-person counseling is not something that I was overly excited about. So resistance is going to create a suction. It's going to create the opposite energy, and attachment is going to create the opposite energy. And Spirit is using these as a means to teach you to surrender, because your mission isn't your mission. It's God's, it's Spirit's, it's the divine. It's however you want to define it, as something higher and greater. And you are learning to bow your head in humbleness and say, "Oh, okay, you've got this. You're in charge. I accept that whatever comes is for my highest and greatest good, whether it looks like it or not. And I also accept that whatever's happened has been for my highest and greatest good, whether it looks like it or doesn't. I accept that Spirit will provide what I need when I need it. And neither of those things are something that your ego will be in alignment with, because what I need, your ego will be like, I need financial security. And what if not having financial security for a period of time is exactly what you need to learn some valuable lessons. I need stability. Well, again, what if what you need is to learn instability, disconnection, so that you can start cultivating these energies within? I needed safety. That's what I needed. I needed safety more than anything. And in the quest for feeling safe, I used safe and love, were my two biggest. And the quest for feeling safe and love, I stayed in a marriage that was actually the opposite of safe. I deluded myself into thinking that I was safe and I was loved in a not safe, not loved situation. I'm safe enough because there's somebody here to provide for me and protect me and be there for me, even though this person was abusing me, lying me, manipulating me, So we concoct in our mind, our egoic mind, lies and delusions of what we think our world is. We build up these structures around us to keep us safe. We plaster the walls with all of the addictions and the behaviors and the thinking and the distortions and the denials and the illusions and the distractions and the distortions. Like, we build it all up to give us, to keep us in this tower of safety. And maybe it's not safety for you. Maybe it's security. Maybe it's financial abundance. Maybe it's love. Maybe it's, what is it that you're telling yourself that you have that isn't really what you have? What it really is, a distortion on some level. And what spirit will come along is destroy that tower, because it's built upon lies. We're lying to ourselves and say, right, we're starting from the ground up, and you need to learn to provide these energies for yourself. So I had to learn, and I'm still learning on a daily basis, what it is to provide myself with safety in this seclusion that I've been placed. And so, lying on the grass, I am safe. The ground has me. The ground is supporting me, because I felt completely unsafe. All the things that had propped me up, all my training wheels that had given me my false sense of safety, were taken away from me. And so if you have false senses of things, safety, support, love, abundance, whatever, value, whatever it could be, if you have a false sense, then in the dark night of the soul, when everything is ripped away, you need to learn to give yourself those energies. And it's a very difficult, arduous process. And then you need to learn to surrender to divine time, which is also not in ego's time. I joke that divine time is slower than island time, because island time is chill. And then there's divine time, which is even slower, because divine time will be like, no, you haven't got the lesson yet. No, you haven't got the lesson yet. You're like, I surrender. Okay, now can I have what I want? No, you haven't got the lesson yet. Okay, I got it. I surrender. Now can I have what I want? And it's going to be like, no, now I'm going to hold you in the void for a while, so that you can just accept that time is not yours to control. And so the things that you want to manifest, or the things that you want to control, and the things that you want to build will be built when divine gives you the green light. So there's a lot of waiting. There's a lot of patience that needs to be cultivated. There's a lot of acceptance that needs to be cultivated. There's a lot of creating inner peace in the stillness that needs to be cultivated. So mission and stepping into mission is a lot of paradoxical energies. It's the things that you want will be delayed and taken away for a period of time, and the things that you don't want will stay and stick to you like glue until you accept their place in your life. And it's all kinds of crazy making for the mental sphere, because your ego would like to control all the pieces, and until you learn to just sit still and accept that with your hands open, what is meant to come will come in divine time, and what is meant to stay will stay if that's meant to be, So I used to think letting go meant like getting off my hand, getting out of my space. Look at me, I'm letting go. But it's like Velcro stuck to you, and you're like, but it's not leaving me, I'm letting go, but it's not going anywhere. So some things, when you learn to let go, are going to just slide off your hand. And it's usually those things that you've been grasping onto like this, when you let go, are going to like fall. And the things that you're trying to let go of, you're going to be like, it's not going anywhere. And so that this is kind of energetically kind of the process of this paradoxical energy, which is also divine feminine and divine masculine energy. When our feminine selves lets go and says, I'm here, and the masculine energy says, I'm open, and then those come together, and woo, let's hook up together in prayer, please. And that's just it. And then it is a connection with the divine, and surrendering to divine time, divine way, divine direction, divine guidance, divine everything. And so if you're struggling a little bit with mission and feeling frustrated, feeling fearful, feeling all kinds of feelings, you're still in mission. As long as we're waking up every single day, doing the work that we're doing, you are in mission. We've always been in mission. So even from our earliest childhood experiences that may have been horrific, that too was your mission. You were already in mission. The courses that you took in school, that also was your mission. The job that you're currently working is also in mission, whether you're meant to learn something from it and let go of it, or you're meant to be there because you don't want to be there because you're providing for something for people. So I know some people who are in mission in medical settings where they're like, oh, it's so hard working this job. Mission isn't going to be easy. You are where you are supposed to be in mission in this moment, and you may know and can see on the horizon that what the job that you were holding on to is starting to go away, or you may be like, I'm trying to get rid of this job, but it won't go away. I have nothing else to go away to. And so understand that too is your mission. They're all pieces of the puzzle that is mission. And you only get to see so many pieces of the puzzle at a time. And it won't be until, 20, 30, 40 years, depending on how old you are, that you ascend, that you can look down and see the entire puzzle. It's one piece at a time, and they all fit together. Me learning acting skills fits into my mission. I'm not an actress, but it fits into my mission. Me going to an addictions counseling fits into my mission. That's a puzzle piece. Me experiencing trauma, me experiencing sexual assault fits into my puzzle. Those weren't pleasant experiences, but they fit into my puzzle. That was part of my mission. So every experience, good or bad, every way that you have lived your life, every Every moment is your mission. So mission isn't this happily ever after kumbaya sitting around saying, I'm exactly where I want to be, doing exactly what I want to do, being exactly everything. No, that from my personal experience, it is not what mission is. Maybe when we're fully in mission, we'll be really comfortable with it, but I'm going to hazard a guess that Spirit's going to be continually testing us and continually challenging us to learn, to grow, and develop. We are constantly in a state of expansion. We are learning who we are through our experiences, positive and negative, shadow and light, good and bad, all of the paradigms, the duality that is this existence, and bringing it into wholeness and unity, and within that it is the mission. So we are coming together into a state of singularity, and that takes time. It takes time. That is the ultimate mission, it is to bring ourselves into oneness. And once we are in oneness, we are going to be ever expanding back out again. It's a constant, energy doesn't stay still. It's a constant process of expansion and contraction, expansion and contraction. So we're contracting all of our fractured aspects of selves into oneness, and when we are in oneness, we are expanding into our wholeness, into our highest and greatest good. So because of that, the nature that is life, and this is you see this in breath, in every cycle of life is contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. So mission is constantly going to be having you contracting and expanding, and contracting and expanding. So yes, mission may be magical, but it's also head-wrecking. So I wanted to hop on and talk to that. So if anybody wants to set up a meeting with me to discuss mission, your mission, and some of the things and challenges that you're having on your mission, to let go or to accept, it is something that we can discuss. Feel free to make a booking with me. I do 1 hour, 2 hour, and 3 hour bookings with 3 different price points for within each of those to fit your budget, because as I said, on a spiritual awakening, some people lose everything. So feel free to reach out, send me off an email or direct message me, and let's set something up. And with that all said, thank you, and thank you for all of those that are supporting me on my mission. The likes, the shares, the supers, the comments. I really support. I'm so grateful for the support that I get through everybody's comments. You have no idea, because my egoic self sometimes is like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I did that. My inner critic's still going haywire on my own mission, because would I say I'm comfortable in my mission? No, there's still a lot of stuff in my own mission that I'd be like, yeah, I would like a lot more of this or a lot less of that. And it's a constant learning. So having some positive feedback and the validation from you guys, really, truly, you have no idea how much it means to me. It keeps me going on days when I'm like, I don't even know what the heck I'm doing anymore. Because this awakening is all kinds of crazy, and this twin flame journey is all kinds of crazy. So sending you all my absolute love. Peace out.